What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pendergast podcast on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Well, it could be evening, wherever you are in the world. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor again to sit down with my man Cat. But before we get into this episode, it is sponsored by Next Level Financial. Take control of your financial future. Get your
I'm still
complimentary.
rocking it out.
I know you are. I see it. Get your free complimentary financial analysis today by Seth Starnes, man. Dude, Cat, what is up, man?
Oof. It's been a hell of a year. We've got a fresh year coming at us. We've got some new stuff coming on. I'll get to ride another MotoGP circuit in 2025. I'm partially disabled and it's a pain in the ass. We're launching a new product this year, after thoroughly testing it over the past 2 years. Things with my good friends at Venom going strong, learning more about promo items and what works and what doesn't. Loving my people at Bison. It's just, this is what I do. This is my life.
No, you're right. I love it, man. And I'm like you, dude. Aliki and dude, her whole undersuits are just absolutely amazing. And then of course, we got Bison, which everybody loves Bison,
Yeah.
So yeah, they're absolutely proper mega people and our beautiful circuses, I always call it.
Our beautiful circus. Yeah, I call it track family. And it's the same all over the world.
It is.
All over the world.
It is. So speaking of, I had you on previously, you and Leaky, and we really didn't get into a little bit about how you got into motorcycles, but not a whole much about your whole business and your tours and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to start off with that, man. Tell everybody, Kat, what you do.
Oh, what do I do? I run Layout Escapes, which specializes in motorcycle tours with track time on MotoGP circuits. At least for this crowd, that's what you're interested in. I do have another product called Trippinars, which we're launching this year, which is a 1 week long hands-on motorcycle training seminar. And it's really meant for the mass market of the United States to get the hell out of the United States just for a week and learn how to travel on your own through Europe. It's not that hard. You can do it. But the main thing that I'm known for within this community is if you want to ride Mugello, if you want to ride Portimao, if you've always had a hankering to go to Phillip Island, Aragon, Catalunya, Brno, Hockenheim, I'm the guy. There are other ways of doing it. You can work hard, and I can tell you how there are other ways of doing it. But who wants to fly over to a foreign country, do 2 or 3 days of track time and then head home? No, you've come to a foreign country. And what's the best way to see a foreign country? On a motorcycle. 2 wheels is the best way to see the world. So get on a bike. You've got the skills, and go see a foreign country by motorcycle and explore it. Find the greatest roads. And we specialize in authentic stuff. No tourist crap. We want you to ride like a local, eat like a local, and drag your knee like a local. And they'll show you how. We've got locals there at the track who know the circuit, who are going to train you up on what references to see, where to watch, what to go. And the only problem is it's a little bit expensive. And I know it's expensive because I pay the bills. So this is what I do. I've been doing it since, I think we're going on 14 years now.
That's a long time, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I watch all your YouTube videos about it. And, who wouldn't want to go ride a MotoGP track, right? Everybody listening to this, or that's going to listen to this, it's always been a dream, whatever your favorite track is, right? Mm-hmm. Listen, sign up, get with Cat, and he'll show you all. And listen, you'll learn a lot about yourself solo on a trip, right? So we'll get into that, Cat, here in a minute. But I've done that. I've traveled. I went to UK by myself with the BSB, and yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I had the nerves and the jitters, like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? I have nobody around me, right? It's
everybody speaks English. What the hell are you worried about?
Right. It's just going first time, right?
I know.
Virgin of going across the pond solo.
I get it. I have some people that can't hack it. They can't hack it. They lose it.
Listen, I bet, right? I was okay. So tell us about that. Like, if you really want to know someone, you got to travel with them.
Yep. Yeah, that's my phrase. And you got neighbors, you think you know them. You don't. These people you live next to for 30 years, take them out of their home environment, take them out of their trappings of status, things that tell them who they are, their job, their, suck ass employees, all the things that give them an identity, take them away from, their golf club, their church group, and put them in another foreign country, and all of a sudden everything that tells them who they are and what their identity is suddenly gone. And now, who are you really? And now, oh no, they don't speak your language. Watch people just freak the fuck out. It's kind of sad. I mean, I've had people on tour that we took them on the whole tour. We showed them, here's some great Italian restaurants and stuff. After the tour, they were still in Rome for another 4 days. They went to McDonald's every single day,
bro.
While you're in Italy, it's because they were so scared of having an experience that they weren't anticipating. They were scared of the new. It was too much new coming at them, and they literally were going to McDonald's not for comfort food, but for psychological comfort. Just to go, this is familiar. I know what this is. This tells me who I am. I'm an American, and hey, I get my double whopper sometimes. I need my double whopper. But yeah, you want to know who somebody is, suddenly subject them to the stresses of not knowing where they are, where the next meal's coming from. Of course, we've got that all taken care of, but just, yeah. New experiences jar something in people and they will freak out. You get some folks who, if they can't be in control, and control's an illusion for the most part, but if they can't be if they can't be the captain, they'll do everything they can to sink the ship. They'll try to get people on the little group and say, I don't think he knows what he's doing. I bet you I could do this tour better. And this happens rarely, but it does happen. And it's mainly because they're scared and they're not used to not being in control. And so they want to be in control. And so the way they can be in control is to complain. It's nuts. But yeah, you will. And also because you get to see the true core of people, this is where true friendships really grow. People who are thrown together through adversity or just a new experience, they open up to each other immediately. They connect right at the heartstrings, and you'll have these friends for the rest of your life because, oh man, I remember you were there. We were on that Italian road. That was freaking great. And that's it. You've got a friend for life. You were right behind me on Mugello. Yeah, that's it. So you want to know who somebody is, especially if you're thinking about marrying them, travel with them. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. It's yeah, I mean, it really does when you think about it. And all the anxiety that I had, Kat, going over there. Like I said, I felt right at home, but it's just more than been showing up and getting to the hotel, right? Don't know nobody. And then I was like, what do you mean we ain't got AC, right? There's no AC at this place, right? We don't need it. You're in Louth in the UK. You don't need AC, right? And then food, right? Because I'm not used to obviously getting up and say, yeah, I'm gonna be here to eat. Okay, our eat times are between this and this and blah blah.
Yeah, God, I'm sorry about that.
It's all good, man. But it was all that was part of the experience, right? It is, but of course,
Yeah,
the nerves, just oh my God, it's like you said, I'm not at home in my own environment. I actually got to thank myself and outside my comfort zone in my box, right? So to speak. So, yeah, I get along with everybody. And I like to talk anyway. So after my first 3 minutes there, I was good to go. Once they told me I had to have no AC and I come to peace with it, I was good. Oh man. So, and you're right, on top of that too, you meet amazing people that are lifelong friends, and every time you're glad you made the trip because you only live once. Make that trip, make it happen.
Yeah. That's why we say it's called ride the dream.
Nope. It's very important.
These are just my crazy ideas. They don't happen unless people decide to ride the dream and they come on these trips, this isn't about me. These trips are never about me. It's all about me making other people's dreams come true. It's their dream. I just try to come up with it and push it one way or another. It's the clients that make the dream real.
100%, man. 100%. So look, my buddy Craig Harris, he's across the pond, right? And I actually met him at Cadwell Park. He says, you met me across the pond and survived my pink wig. Because yes, he did have a big pink wig on. It was absolutely amazing. Nice. And then he also says, I don't think I've ever eaten fast food like that abroad, except when I visited America. I landed at 4 a.m. and went to see if your McDonald's is bigger than ours. And it was.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, and then of course, that's also when you find out kind people and nice people, right? And the differences between the two.
Well, Americans are often really shocked at how kind the rest of the world is to them. And I hate to tell you, it's not about you as an American. They're like that to everybody. Americans don't realize they are in there's really no nice ways, the most individualistic culture on the planet. And you don't know your own culture until you step out of it. You can't see it until someone holds up a mirror and says, this is you. We are the most self-centered, egotistical, completely embedded in solipsism. We only think about ourselves. And we've been trained to do that since birth. It's our culture. And there's some things that it's very good for. In many ways, it's a cultural strength. It's the strength of the United States, that individual thought. It's what makes people nutty enough to create their own podcast. Okay. Right. Exactly. To start their own business. We're loopy enough, so self-absorbed enough that we actually think that we can create our own business, our own brand. And we do that without even a second thought. Whereas people in other countries will be like, well, what would my mom think? What would my uncle think? What would my neighbors think? It's not even a concern of ours. For them, it is. But the converse of that is when you go abroad and you run into somebody else and you're in America and a foreign visitor and you meet them, they are genuinely interested in your well-being because that's their culture. That's who they are. They think differently than we do, different culture. And so they will genuinely be nice to you. You are welcome abroad. It's actually a really nice experience. Go like, oh, these people actually care about me and want to make sure I'm okay. And, oh, did you find that laxative you needed? And make sure you're drinking enough water.
Listen, everything you said is correct. Because when I went there, like I said, I knew a couple people, but I wasn't getting up with them for like 3 or 4 days. My first 3 or 4 days there. Well, my first actual day, because I got there at night. I went to Peter Hickman's place, met a bunch of proper mega people, ended up with a good buddy of mine, and yeah, he gave me a ride back to the hotel and then was like, hey, how you getting to Cadwell? I was like, I guess a cab. He's like, no worries, mate, I'll come pick you up. And then he introduced me to his buddy Paul and they took me out to eat. And like, yeah, they wanted to make sure I was okay, just like you said, without me realizing it at the time, right? But yeah, it's a good way to put it, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And it's an amazing experience, so speaking of that, you've been all over the world, right? I already know because me and you had this conversation, but they haven't heard it yet. What was your favorite visiting place, and what do you suggest as far as visit the whole experience, right? The track, the culture, the food, the hotels, the public roads you guys are going to be going on. In your opinion, what's the number one spot everybody should start with?
Well, I mean, people always ask me, what's my favorite tour? And I don't necessarily have a favorite tour. I have a favorite place for breakfast. I have a favorite place for lunch. I have a favorite place for dinner. Are you sensing a pattern here? Yes, I live to ride, but I ride to eat. And food is one of the things that brings all cultures together. Everybody loves a good plate of food, except the people in the UK and Norway, and I'm not sure why. I think the Norwegians taught the folks in the UK how to cook. It's pretty scary. So my favorite place for breakfast in the world is Germany, because in Germany, Frühstück is not just a noun, it's a verb. It's a very important meal of the day, and the Germans know how to do it right. My favorite place for lunch by far is Thailand. Thai people eat 7 times a day. They eat small portions. There's street food everywhere. You can always see it cooked right in front of you. It's delicious. It's so good. I want to go back right now. I've got buddies from Yamaha Champions Riding School who are over there right now. I hate you, fuckers. God damn it. You're having fabulous food, next to rice patties. And
Pad Thai and a Glock naan, all that good stuff.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love Thailand. And for dinner, it's not my favorite food. It's my favorite experience, and that's Italy. I'm not a huge fan of Italian food, but in Italy, dinner is a ritual. You have aperitif. Basically start getting drunk. Okay, then you've got, your little hors d'oeuvres and whatnot, and then you've got primero with one kind of wine, and then you've got your second course with another kind of wine, and then you've got, your after dinner liqueurs. And the whole concept is to stay slightly buzzed the entire time while laughing and having a good conversation with your friends. It's a whole experience. It's about fabulous flavors. It's about great conversation. It's about good wine. It's about enjoying life as a whole, and that is an Italian dinner, and that's why I love dinner in Italy. So that just gets the food thing. Now, what about roads? Because roads, right? I mean, it's where motorcycles go. That's what they're made for. Favorite roads have got to be my favorite place to ride for a day. For one single day, I've had one single day to ride. I'm going to the Italian Alps, the Dolomites. That is the best single day of road riding I can have. For a week, this is going to blow people's mind. My favorite week of riding is Northern California because of such a wide range of places you can go. You've got river runs, you've got mountain runs, you've got coastal runs, you've got redwood forests, such that wide variety of places that you can ride through. So NorCal is my favorite, place for just 1 week. For MotoGP circuits, it's tough. My favorite track in Spain is Catalunya. Narrowly beats out Aragon, because Aragon is really an incredible circuit with tons of great reference points. Probably the best track in Europe, though, is Mugello. It's just it's a dance. You sway with it. It's like ballroom dancing. What is it? Anyway, yeah, it has a rhythm. You get to know the rhythm of it. It's a waltz. Yeah, you feel it, you swing it, and you get a pattern to it. And then, of course, mind-bending straight that you really have to make sure you brake for that first turn, because if you don't, you will have a compound fracture of your leg and get hauled off by a helicopter. And yes, we've seen this happen more than once. So please remember to brake at the end of the straightaway.
Right.
Yeah. What other qualifications do you have for how do I judge a destination? Friendliness of people. How about that? Again, I think it comes back to Thailand. Everyone in Thailand is, Sawadee krap, they welcome you. Their whole idea of having a good time that day is to make somebody else happy. So it's the best nation for tourism. I really want to run another tour there. The Italians are very passionate people, but not always organized. So you'll get something delivered to you with incredible verve and vitality, but it's not always on time. Whereas the Germans are always on time, and it's always clean, and it always works. Because we are German and we make it work. And thank God for that. My best location for starting tours and ending tours is Munich. Because they're German, but they're kind of like slightly less German than other places. The Bavarians are a little bit more relaxed, and the Austrians are more relaxed than them, but still they get the job fucking done. And you can always count on them. Anyway, go ahead. Give me another topic about a destination.
Yeah. So like let's say if somebody reached out to you and said, "Look, Kat, I'm signing up. I'm not really sure what I really want to do first." What way would you persuade them? Say, "Okay, I think you should start on this particular tour.
Okay. Oh, usually, are you coming with a passenger? If you're coming with a passenger, then by far for 2025, you want to take the Core of Catalunya tour, because we only have 3 hotels on the entire tour. And we have a hotel in the mountains and a rest day for the people who are off the bike. They can go hiking in the mountains. It's a cute little mountain town. And then we go to the Costa Brava, which is obviously on the coast, on the beach, while we're out going crazy on the roads. Your passenger can lounge on the Costa Brava, the beach. Truly legit, beautiful Mediterranean beach action. Lovely resort town. And then while you're on the best track in Spain, your passenger can go to Barcelona. And there are a few things we're seeing in Barcelona. It's a fun town.
Oh, I'm sure.
So there's lots for passengers. So that is the best tour for couples. Going to Europe for the first time, probably most people take the Munich to Mugello tour. And that's sort of my anchor. If you're going to only do one of my tours, and that's it, that's all you can afford, you're dying next year, you need to do one tour, take the Munich to Mugello tour, because it's going to give you the exposure to the most different things. You've got Germany, you've got the Dolomites, Alps region, which is sort of another culture, and then you have Tuscany. And then you have all the food and the people of those worlds. So that's the most has the biggest variety of cultures and people to experience, is the Munich to Mugello tour.
Well, that just leads me into, my next question for you is, what's it like to ride Mugello when you suck?
Yeah, I suck. One, I'm 6'2" and like 250 pounds. I'm giant. I have no natural talent whatsoever. Yeah, I suck. And I've ridden 11 MotoGP circuits. This year will be 12. That's my crazy claim to fame, otherwise known as lame claim to fame. And I absolutely love it. But yeah, I suck. And what's it like to ride a great circuit like that? It's amazing, because it shows you how badly you do suck. Because you know what the top speed of your heroes is on here. On a proper MotoGP bike, let's say you're only on a decent, proper, leader bike on like BMW S1000 RR or a Yamaha R1. But then you see your lap times and you see their lap times, even World Superbike, or even the people that you're riding with, the instructors, when they choose to let loose, you're like, jeez. But you also realize the quality of the track is not just about track surface. It's not just about rumble strips that you can ride on in the rain, because they're made with the proper material and the proper grit. It's about the reference points. There's so many reference points at these tracks, both, they're like actual signs, like braking marker, braking marker, braking marker. There's service roads, the rumble strips that end at the appropriate time, the lines coming out from the side of the infield into the track that you can see, that's where I'm at. So there's so many different things you can use, as I'm going to turn in here, I'm going to get on the gas here, I'm going to my exit point, I'm aiming here. It really helps you put together a lap quicker when you have so many reference points, as opposed to that dirty divot over there. I'm going to aim for the porta potties in the distance. And then I'm looking for that old light that doesn't work anymore. Oh, they took that down last year. There's a consistent amount of reference points that really enable you to put in the lap together quickly, so that by day 3, you actually feel like you know where you are on the circuit. As opposed to, geez, I know Aragon better than I know my own home local track of Thunderhill, because Aragon has so many more reference points. So it's more reassuring, but also it's humbling, because this is where your heroes ride, and yeah, you suck.
and it was saying that you also obviously they can rent bikes too, correct?
Yeah. With our tour packages, our escapes, it always comes with track bikes. I'm not asking you to, load your bike on the plane. That's not going to work out well. Really, it's not going to work out well.
Yeah, it's not. Not if you take it apart, right? Send it. Yeah, it's amazing, man. What you do, all your experiences you've had traveling, circuits, and the food and the beer and the wine, right? I mean, it's like, bro, absolutely. Craigo actually has a question for you. He wants to know. He says, has Cat ridden the Scottish West Coast roads where they're absolutely amazing? He says, I've ruined sets of tires in 2 days up there and constantly changing directions to take mountain cliffs and everything.
Yeah, no, I'm a MacLeod. So I ride. I know how to ride on the Isle of Skye. I know exactly where I want to ride on the Isle of Skye. That's my home. Yes, I've ridden the West. The rest is absolutely amazing. And those of you who live down in the shameful part of the UK, otherwise known as England, get north on your bike. Bring your rain gear because it's going to rain, and go ride the northwest of Scotland. It's stunningly gorgeous, and you have no excuse. You're that close to an incredible riding place. Go do it. He's absolutely right. It's wondrous. It's beautiful up there. Beautiful scenery, incredible roads, and there's nobody there,
which makes it a lot better.
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
It's like the Pyrenees up there. There's just nobody there. Incredible roads, beautiful views, no traffic.
I love it, man. And you traveling and meeting all these beautiful people of the earth, right? And sharing experiences with them. Do you find that track day riders are the same all around the world?
Yeah. There obviously there's the differences. I mean, you got one dude who's the dentist, and the other dude who's the plumber, and the other chick who's a registered nurse, and the other woman who's a doctor. They all have different lives that they come from, and that sort of seasons people in different ways, but they're all slightly nuts. We're all crazy. We all think that, strapping our crotch on 200, horsepower and blazing down elbow to elbow at incredibly high speed is a great way to spend the afternoon. And it is, damn it. So I think it's different than car people, because car people got that roll cage, that separates them and the other people, and they can bang doors and maybe scratch paint. But motorcycle people, we're right there. You got to trust who's next to you, and you're putting your life in other people's hands. And so I think there's just a different feeling of trust and family inside the paddock for motorcycle people. It's more than just a shared passion. It's a shared respect for your own carcass, because it's the one that's going to be sliding into a bloody pulp at the end of turn 5 if everybody doesn't behave. So yeah, motorcycle people are the same all over the world. Paddock people, paddock life, everyone's jumping in each other's rigs. People are gathering together. In fact, I think people gather together in big groups more in Europe, a little bit because of European culture, whatnot. There would be big campfires, big screens, people showing pictures of the day, stuff like that. But yeah, track people are track people. In fact, from your podcast, you've interviewed all these, incredible racers, some of them the part of the Alien set that are just so phenomenally talented. They're just track people. They're just better than you. That's all. Right. They're the same awesome people we all are, just they're better riders than us. That's all. That's one of the things I like about the Yamaha Champions Riding School group is they're phenomenal riders. Many of them current champions, but they're not egotistical. They're not like, I'm so much better than. No, it's just, I'm better than, I'm good at riding, and I'm going to try to help you. That's it. They're track people, the track family.
Our beautiful circus, as I call it. All the same as all. They're the same everywhere, right? It's absolutely. And was saying that, Me and you had this conversation, but tell people what you mean when you say that you are not an American, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's plenty of people on social media that are like, oh, you have a passport? You hate America. Yeah, I get a lot of the, why don't you freaking leave then? You don't love your country. It was such a wad of horseshit. It's so boring after a while. But I have been out of the country so much that when I'm abroad in Europe, nobody thinks I'm an American. I move differently. I talk differently. The clothes I wear. Most of the time, people think I'm most of the time they think I'm Dutch. Just because I'm tall, really. But I actually really, I take flattery to that because I know Dutch people, and Dutch people are the coolest people on the planet, and I am not that cool. They are way cooler than I am. So I'm actually flattered when they think I'm Dutch or Danish. A lot of times they think I'm Danish. But I've lived outside my culture for so long that I don't really fit in it anymore. I don't shop like an American. I don't eat like an American. I don't eat like a European. I'm a citizen of the world. And for that, I catch a lot of flack. A lot of people hate me because how dare you know things about the rest of the world? Yeah, I'm sure you can guess which members of the political spectrum just absolutely despise me. Because I'm sorry, I've been there, and that's not true. They're trying to tell me that like folks in Spain hate you, or people in Japan, disrespect Americans. No, they don't. They don't even know who you are. They don't care. Yeah, it gets silly. So yeah, I've been outside the U.S. so much that I don't really. When I'm in the U.S., I don't look like I'm an American either. If you want to spot an American in Rome, I'll give you the top tips on how to spot the American in Rome. This is gonna be rude. So I mean, some people are gonna give me shit for this, and that's fair. That's fair. But there's a reason for it. Okay, there's a reason these types exist. It's because a lot of times they're true. Okay, look for the guy who is overweight, wearing a T-shirt that desperately needs to be washed and has some sort of blatantly American sports team on it that nobody in Europe would ever know. Has to be wearing athletic shoes of some sort, a fanny pack and a day pack, even though they're only going out walking for the afternoon. Has to be wearing a baseball cap and speaking at double volume. That's the American. And you can spot them on the way to the Trevi Fountain, no problem. No, you can hear them. You can hear them coming for because Americans abroad, especially their first or second time, always speak at double volume in the desperate hopes that somebody else who speaks English might hear them. Yeah.
That's awesome. And
it's horrible because when they're on the subway, like the locals are like, "My God, will you shut the fuck up?"
I bet, man. But with saying all that too, it's that's when you want to be you call it be a tourist, not a traveler. So tell everybody.
No, be a traveler, not a tourist.
Yeah, okay. I can see I fucked that up. Yes, the opposite way.
Be a traveler. No, a traveler goes to understand. A tourist just goes to see. Tourists will run back and forth, desperately trying to check off this little list, like shopping items. Like, I saw that, I saw that, I saw that. I got a selfie in front of the Trevi Fountain. Ching. Here I am at the Hofbrauhaus. Not having, meanwhile, missing the authentic life that's happening right in front of them. Today is, some festival. That's the one thing about Europe. There's always something happening. It's always a festival or a game or a market day or a race or a concert. Something is always happening in Europe that involves groups of people. It's way different than the US in that respect. There's always groups gathering together for some reason. And you go check it out and go, wow, I never thought of that before. Oh God, that tastes awful. What does that smell? They actually ride those things, Who told them that was okay to wear out in public? He's wearing socks with sandals. My God, there's another one. You know, it's but this is Europe, and this is the things that you can notice if you open your mind and you see the world and observe it and become mentally engaged instead of running from internet approved tourist trap to internet approved tourist trap, trophy hunting, getting the little tchotchkes that are just going to come home and gather dust or be stocking stuffers. Be a traveler, and people welcome travelers. Travelers who are genuinely curious about the country they've come to visit and ask questions that are obviously not based upon themselves, but show a genuine interest in the country they've come to visit. Travelers don't have any problems. People hate tourists. And you know it, if you live near a touristed area, you hate tourists too. They always get in the way. Why? Because they don't think about the fact that they're a traffic hazard to other people. They're not thinking about the rest of the world around them. They're thinking about just what their little schedule says today and what they've got to get a picture of that to prove to the world that they actually went all the way to the top of the Eiffel Tower, even though the view from the shopping center over there is absolutely free and much better and is not filled full of tourists. But it doesn't matter. You had to get to the top of the Eiffel Tower and take your little picture. Nobody who lives in France goes to the top of the Eiffel Tower. If there's no locals up there, maybe the locals know something you don't. So, yeah, please be a traveler, not a tourist. And that has a lot to do with what we've been dealing with the Tripinar product.
So tell everybody about the Tripinar.
Well, I worked in the travel industry long enough to see that there are some problems for the moto traveler world. A lot of people will never take a motorcycle tour. One of those reasons is because of pace. Either they're worried the pace is going to be too fast for them and they're going to be like embarrassed or scared the whole tour, or it's going to be too slow and they're going to be bored out of their skull. And this can't happen. You will be so incredibly frustrated that you spent how much money on this long tour only to know by day 2 that yes, the tour is going to be this slow the entire time and I'm going to go out of my mind. You'll start babbling in your helmet. You'll start banging your head against the wall. You will be so upset that you're stuck on this tour, and yet you're going on these beautiful roads and people can't even go the speed limit. So pace is the big problem. The other issue is because of that pace and because of that wide variance of skills, tour operators are forced to take you from one tourist attraction to another tourist attraction on the easiest road possible. This isn't the best road. This isn't the road the locals would take. The tourist attractions are there. Why? Because they sell tours. A picture of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, it sells tours. A picture of 2 morons in a little boat in Venice, no local ever uses these. It's for tourists. But people think they have to do that. They have to check off the little box of all the little touristy things they're supposed to do. And so this sells tours. The tourist attractions sell the tours, and then they have to hook up a route from point A to point B. That's the easiest road to make sure that the woefully underskilled rider who was on that tour doesn't crash. Because that's going to delay the tour. And if you think everyone going slow is bad, delaying the tour, that's even worse. So, pace and tourist traps. I said this has to stop. And this is the reason why people aren't going. I want people to leave the country. So we created the Tripinar, which is we take you to a motorcycle playground. This is where Europeans go to play. If you're an Austrian rider, this is where you're going to go. If you're an Italian rider, this is where you're going to go for a week. You know, if you're a French rider, this is where you're going to go. These are the places to play. Motorcycle playgrounds, amusement parks. They have great rides. And then we turn people loose. We put them into groups of 3 or 4 according to pace so that you can go the pace you want. You can go at about 80% of your ability and practice your motorcycling skills and get better and enjoy the road how you want to with a group of buddies who are about your same pace. We're not going to be a tour guide out front like your grandma leading you through the museum, going from place to place. We're going to go to one hotel in one great motorcycle playground and then turn you loose with a bunch of routes that you can go on. Before you come on the tour, we put you through Yamaha Champions Riding School, their Champ U program, their online training program, so that everyone who comes on the tour is speaking the same language about their riding skills. You know, they're working on things together that they have used, that they understand. Everyone's talking about trail breaking in the same way. Everyone knows what that means. And then on the tour, we don't have guides. We have instructors. We are there to help you, not herd you. So a couple of times during the tour, we can pull in behind you and say, hey, I'm right behind you. Don't show me how fast you are. Show me how smooth you are. Oh, let's try putting some more weight on the inside foot peg. Real-time feedback on your riding because we use the Chatterbox radio systems. That process of being able to give people real-time feedback improves their riding very quickly. They go home a much better rider. They go home having learned how to do routes in a foreign country. They go home learning how to pick hotels in a resort area, not a tourist area, a resort area. There is a difference. This is where locals go to play, where vendors won't cheat you because they want you to come back. This is what happens in Europe. There are people who go back to the same place for vacation every year. This is what Germans do because they're kind of habitual, but you get the idea. You also go home with knowledge and memories and a group of great friends in your address book who you can say, hey, Layout Escapes taught us how to do this route thingy in the Dolomites last year. The 3 of you want to get together? You want to try to do the Pyrenees? I think we can do it. Let's just do it by ourselves. Yes, you can, because we've taught you how. And riding Europe by yourself is not that possible, and you shouldn't be afraid of it. And so that's what the Trip and R is for. We have 4 of them this year. The Julian Alps, the Dolomites, Tuscany, and the Pyrenees. And the whole point is for you to have a good time in a motorcycle playground. We've got people coming back doing the same tour again, doing the same Trip and R again, because they wanted to bring their friends to do it. But one of the hooks of the Trip and R is, even though we teach you how to do it all on your own, since the value of it is so low, the prices start at $3,000 for a week. That includes your bike and your hotels and the instructors and the radio comm units and all that. People come back and do it again because it's a good value. I'm getting people to the good hotels at a good price. So anyway, that's way too much about the Trip and R, which probably most track riders are more interested in MotoGP circuits.
And so, yeah, and so far you got you've been to 11 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky?
Not lucky. Luck had nothing to do with it.
I know. It's just
it's not, but remember, it's not about me.
I know it's not. I know.
It's about my clients.
Still,
it never would have happened.
It's an absolute honor to be able to do that, right? And be able to taste that tracks in life.
Yeah, I mean, some of these places have a real gravitas. You can feel, you know, where you are.
Yeah, I love it. And so I want to ask you, man, you know, because I'm a bison ambassador. I know you wear bison, right? So what's the whole story? How did you and Robert and Tasha and Carter and Edith get together?
Well, the big thing is I needed a new suit. I didn't necessarily need a new suit, but it was about time, and I wanted to choose a vendor that was there, someone who was track family, someone who was out in the paddock, someone who was part of the community. And I asked Aliki of Venom Sport, and I said, who's track family? Who should I be working with? And she gave me 2 names, and I chose Bison because Bison is track family. In fact, the reason I chose Bison over the other one was because Bison is more track family. They are out there. They are one of us. They're just making suits. That's all.
Dude, everybody hears my story of Bison and how much I love them because I talk about them all the time. They do, and some of the
suits are really good.
They are.
Their suits are really good. It's a good value. It's an incredible value for the price that you pay. And can you get a better suit? Yeah, maybe you could. I think you could, but you'd be paying 3 times the money for it. It's an incredible value of the suit. My airbag fits in it just fine. And I really got to hand it to Bison. When I show up, my first time I showed up wearing that suit, it was at Portimao. I felt legit because I'm walking around the paddock in my Bison suit. And it's no doubt that the man from MacLeod Escapes is in the hot pit. And I was just like, this is me. That's it. Oh man. Yeah, I felt ridiculously good because, there is a certain amount of inner peace that being properly dressed can deliver in a way no meditation or prayer could ever do. And it's just called, I look good. Yeah, and Bison provides that with a quality suit that lasts. I love my suit. Absolutely love my Bison suit.
I got one. I absolutely in love with my Bison suit too. It's hanging up right here in the background. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. The gloves, I got the gloves, the chest protector, the undersuit, the whole 9. They are they just did come out also with the new pair of boots too.
No, I'm interested in trying the boots. I've been talking to Rob. I said, as soon as it's ready to go, MacLeod Escapes is going to push out the boots and say, everyone, get your feet in these. And boots, I had to hand it to Rob. Boots are tricky.
Yeah.
Fitting boots, it's not easy. And having a protective boot that's comfortable, that's a big puzzle. So I got to hand it to him for taking that step. That's a bold step to go into boots.
And it is. And they knocked it out the park, actually. I seen them.
Okay.
Personally.
Great.
Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. I bought a pair of boots, Formula 1s or Formula 4s, well, whatever they are. They're the newest ones, right? I had a pair of the Super Tech R's, which I really didn't like. But I bought those before I knew they were going to come out with a pair of boots. Otherwise, I'd have obviously bought the Bison. So, but yeah, I've seen them, touched them, played with them. They're amazing.
Good.
So you're gonna love them.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it, especially because it's gonna match my suit.
Right, dude. And dude, since we're on the subject with Bison, they make it so easy for you to get a full custom suit. The whole process is simple. You choose everything. They give you so many options. And if sometimes it's overwhelming, with all the options, it's like buying a car. You can do this color and this color and this color and blah 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 blah, right? But they make it simple for you and they simplify it, right? And they're just amazing people through the whole process.
No, Rainey made it really easy. I mean, we already have a brand look here at MacLeod Escapes, so it was pretty obvious what colors and stuff we were going to choose. And I turned Rainey loose on it and says, "Here's our look. Make it happen on a suit." And so she did. And it was just only some minor tweaks and we were ready to go. So I'm giving credit to Rainey at Bison for doing the job. She did it. She's responsible. She's my stylist.
That's right. Listen, bisontrack.com. Treat yourself. You guys deserve it. Straight up. Buy you a custom suit. It's 2025. Yeah. I mean, what was saying that? What air vest do you run in your Bison suit?
I'm using the new Alpine Star 7X. And it's a vast improvement over the 5 and the 10. The 10 was a nightmare because I just couldn't get it to work right. Whereas the 7X, boom, out of the box, it connects, it's ready to go. So I'm very impressed with the new 7X, and I endorse it. It's already been used once. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's the best thing right now for the inside of a bison suit. But I do not have any comparative data on other airbags, so I can
It's
only
just
say the Alpine Star worked good and with a minimum amount of fuss. And who wants to deal with fuss while you're in the pits and trying to get out for your session as the clock ticks down?
nobody. Let's just be honest, right? Yeah, not one of us. So yeah, man. And avoid Lisbon.
You just had that one note from when we talked. You're like,
Yeah,
avoid Lisbon.
avoid. Yeah, I did too. I looked down. I was like, yes. You like that, right? It's a great transition.
No, but that's it. You got it. You got it. No, avoid Lisbon. We are doing Portugal and Portimao again this year. In fact, newsflash, news alert dates. Who's going to get the dates first? It's going to be Pin the Gas podcast. Let's see. We are going October 28th to November 8th. October 28th to November 8th is the dates for. Yes, he can come too. Is the dates for our Portugal and Portimao tour. But we are not going in and out of Lisbon because Lisbon is a tourist trap hell. It's way too many people, way too many tourist traps. It's so scuzzy, it feels like it's being run by the Russian mob. It's upsetting because the town itself is actually beautiful. It's a beautiful old seaport with loads of history. It's a wonderful place, and it's just been ruined by every tourist scam you can possibly imagine. Incredibly overpriced hotels, and I won't have anything to do with it. So we are going to go into Malaga, Spain, and we're going to do our tour in and out of Malaga. We'll probably spend 5 nights. Yeah, 5 nights in the town of Portimao, downtown, not too far away from the coast. And then we will head each day in on our street bikes and using the luggage van and do track time on Portimao. Difference here, we're doing 4 days of track time on Portimao. That's going to make this tour more expensive because it costs me a lot more. Track days are my most expensive part of the tour, but 4 days on Portimao.
Right. That's all you got to say. 4 days at Portimao. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That track is everything it looks like and more. It is crazy good fun. It's not as intimidating as it looks, especially that downhill right-hander after the straight. It's not that scary, but you will be trail braking pretty heavy on that. The ups and downs, yeah, it is a roller coaster and it's a blast. It takes a while to figure out the lines and transferring your weight back and forth on the bike. It's not as tough as say like a track like Jerez where you're doing a lot of heavy braking, but you got to move around because you're forward and then you're back and then you're forward and you're back and moving around, and you're moving your neck around too because you're going down and up and down and up. It's a blast. It really is. It's a great fun circuit. It's new, so yeah, definitely highly recommend it. I have 10 slots this year. I'm sure 4 or 5 of those slots are going to fill up the second I release it onto my website. And probably not far after that, a lot more will booking up. I will make some what I call track snacks, which is just the hotel and the track days. It's going to be expensive as all hell because it's just the most expensive part of the tour. But if you're short on time, that'll be the thing. But obviously, I will sell track and tour spots. If I sell them all, then there won't be any room left for track snacks with just the hotel. But we'll see what happens.
Proper mega, right? That's awesome. You guys heard it right here first.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's awesome. That's man. What's up, bud?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you know my friend Zach, Zachary Hobbs. His mom said yes that he could spend the night all weekend, but I was coming to ask you if we could pick him up after we get Fiona.
Yeah, I'll text mom as soon as we get done because we're not going to be here much longer because we got to go pick up Fiona.
I know. I was like, text mom. She says yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
I bet.
All right. Love them.
Of this.
Yeah, just you can take it with you, bud.
I'm gonna put it in the fridge. Can I have a sip?
Of course you can.
God, I'm so thirsty. I want some of that.
Right. He's like, I gotta have some.
I
Can I have
forgot
some
to
of
take
that?
my water bottle at my book bag.
You're good. You're good, Rossi.
If you got any announcements to make, I'll run and get some water.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, you go ahead if you need.
I don't know
water.
if you're editing this up or if you're doing this live all the time, and like we got some people who are gonna be pissed off if I run away and go.
No, dude, you'll be fine.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yep. All right. Yeah. So listen, thanks, dude, Craigo and Rory, and Chris. Yeah, I'll get you guys questions in August. Nord, what is up? Craigo Harris, you're always proper mega mate. Chris, dude, listen, you gotta get in touch with me, homie. Which I've been giving you a shout out a lot, Chris. Dripping wet. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, is that Chris?
He popped in here for a second.
Oh no, Chris makes legit stuff, man. I like Chris's designs. I mean, he's definitely got a brand. I mean, anytime you see Chris's stuff, you're like, hey, that looks like Chris's work.
Oh yeah, I had the honor to actually meet Chris in New Jersey. So yeah,
New Jersey. I don't know if that's an honor, but Chris, yeah.
at Moto America, it was yeah, I go there every year. So actually, August Nord says hello, Cat.
Hey, August. Yeah, I was the worst pit crew ever because I didn't know she was coming back in. And so she's like left there sitting there in the hot pit wondering where the hell I am. I felt like such a douche.
He's like, where the hell is Cat?
Cat, where those Cat? No. My buddy Chris said, hey, I got a friend of mine coming out and can you help them out at Laguna Seca? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Track family. Yeah, August is definitely a character.
Yeah, she's awesome. I had her. We sat down and did a podcast together. We actually got a part 2 coming up, which I'm really looking forward to. So, and then friend Rory, what is up?
Rory Brown, yeah.
Yes, she's absolutely amazing. Hell yeah, Cat, the legend. Keep the tours coming. Watching you provide the dream is amazing. Your take on the motorcycle life is one of a kind.
Oh, it's not one of a kind. All you have to do is get on the tour. It's that's it.
Yeah, and go ahead, Cat.
I have a guy coming on tour this year. It is his 10th tour with me. And his 10th tour, I told him, I made the promise, he's getting it for free.
Nice.
Yeah. He will be joining me for Black Forest and Hockenheim.
Nice.
Which will be my 12th MotoGP circuit, but he is getting the tour for free because it's his 10th tour. And you think he's some crazy millionaire? No. He drives a snowplow. He saves up his money, saves up his overtime, and this is what he does.
I love it.
So, it's not about big money. It's not about big money. It's about priorities. It's about things over stuff. Have you ever cleaned out, a dead relative's home? You'd be like, look at all this junk, all this stuff. What use is all this stuff? Yeah, well, that's another American culture thing. I don't think I've ever seen any culture that has a problem with hoarding. It seems to be a U.S. only thing. But yeah, we hoard stuff. We're famous for it. So yeah, quit buying stuff and invest in yourself instead of somebody else's bottom line and buy experiences.
I love it.
Yeah.
So does your prices difference between variate between the tracks or the tours people take and pick and choose?
Yeah, it goes anywhere from probably like low 9,000s to high 11,000, mostly because of, again, the number of track days we're doing. That's where Portimao is really getting is. It's going to be another $1,200 because it's another track day. And then Core of Catalunya is probably the best bargain because our tour bikes, the bikes we use for the tour, are immediately returned when we come back because the rental station is right next to the track. And then we just take the luggage van back and forth to put people from the hotel to the track at Catalunya. So we have 3 days on other tours where the bikes are just kind of only used to transport people from the hotel to the track. Whereas on the Core of Catalunya, we've got 3 days where we're not paying for motorcycle rental. And so that just lowers the price. So that makes that tour that much more of a bargain. And also, since Catalunya circuit is right there next to Barcelona, we're not having to pay for a hotel room for the van driver. So it's just saves money there. We pass those savings on to the customer. That's just what I do. I know that's probably wrong.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, listen, Kat, this has been a proper mega Willy good time. We're definitely going to sit back down and continue this conversation and do a part 3 for sure. Yeah, I got to get off here in a few. I got to go pick up my Princess Fiona that had surgery today. So
okay,
yeah, super excited to go pick her up and bring her home.
All right. Yeah,
but
just drop a link, layoutescapes.com. That's where the schedule is. That's where the current tours are. And if you want to just get out and just do a great foreign trip abroad, don't have a lot of money, don't have a lot of time, take a trip in our.
There it is. I love it, Kat. And I'd like to thank everybody that watches the podcast. If you guys have not, please go to everywhere, hit that like and subscribe, the bell, the whole spiel, right? The whole thing. You guys know the deal. Thank you to Next Level Financial. Go ahead, Kat.
All
right. What'd you say?
Oh, I just said like and subscribe.
I love it. Big thanks to bisontrack.com, Chef Eats, TST Industries, my man Martin at the Clothing Kings. You guys can go to theclothingkings.co.uk, get all your Pendergast merch. Listen, Superbike Supply, my man Eric from there, SFL Mini GP in South Florida and Jersey, RD Racing, and my mate Jake Marsh out there in BSB, Vet2 Track.
Track.
Yes. So Jim, man, he has his whole motto is curing PTSD one lap at a time.
Jim is a proper American hero.
He is. Absolutely. We all love Jim. I love Jim. Yeah. I've done 2 podcasts with him, met him in real life, and he's just
those other fake veterans charities. I'm sorry, that's what snipers were invented for. Those guys make me absolutely ill. Jim is the real deal. He's legit. And you want to support veterans, he's your guy.
Yep, 110%. You guys hear me talk about them all the time. Flying Eyes Optics, 64-degree race, and they sent me a custom 2-piece undersuit, which is absolutely amazing. Ghetto Customs, Chris Parrish, Carnes Performance in Pennsylvania, KYT helmets. Yeah, Chris is awesome, man. KYT Helmets Americas, K-Tech Suspension. My brother's in a beautiful circus, dude. Birch, Kendall, and Dakari, RTR, Ready to Race in North Carolina, Coleman Power Sports, MacLeod, Escapes Tours, right? Road Racing World. I need people to go to roadracingworld.com, sign up, and donate to the air fences. It's imperative that we have them. Yes, any amount helps, and we greatly appreciate it. And STG, and of course, Dripping Wet Graphics. Absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out to my friends at Venom Sport. Aliki is the queen.
Yes, Aliki is. So yes, big shout out to Aliki Venom. You know what? I wrote that down right here. so big shout out to Aliki. She makes amazing undersuits too. I need to Aliki, if you hear this, I need to reach out to you, shoot you a text, shoot you a message, because I want a Venom undersuit custom. So I left her a message yesterday.
I was looking at more promo items. What I'm going to do when we do different stuff. It's very rare that words from a political figure will affect my business at all, but unfortunately, the orange one has spoken, and now my luggage tags have gone up in price 4 times. And so I have to stop doing luggage tags, and I'm going to have to do something else. And I've decided I'm going to just invest more in Venom shirts for my clients. So, hey, I'm happy to do it. Aliki does a good job.
Oh yeah, she sent me a Johannes Folger's top.
Yeah, Jonas Folger.
Yeah,
I met Jonas.
and
I did a photo shoot with him in Mugello.
Dude, he's awesome, you know, and he raced him. He was proper mega fast.
Well, it's not only that, but he is exactly what I'm talking about. He is track family. He's just like us. The only difference is he's freaking fast.
He's amazing,
really
right?
Fast.
Yeah.
He's really fast. Other than that, he is just like everyone else in the paddock. Got his little cow logo on his van. That's the only way you know that that's Jonas Folger's van. It doesn't say Jonas Folger, MotoGP rider. No, it's just there's this little cow. That's Jonas. And he's gonna kick your ass because he's fast.
He's gonna show up, pull the bike out, and that's it, right?
But a lot of times he's out there on Mugello on like a mid-level bike, like a 600 or something, and he's just whopping leader bikes' butts all over the place.
Yeah. Which makes it more fun for him, right? Let's just be honest. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure he's absolutely super cool. You know?
He is. He absolutely he's totally legit. He's track family.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, big shout out to my man William Posse right here. Thanks so much for that hat, bro. You're absolutely awesome. So, yeah, man. Listen, Kat, I'm gonna get off here. This has been a proper mega time. This episode will be out on Spotify, iHeart, all that good stuff tomorrow.
Cheers.
You go back to my YouTube channel and rewatch it as soon as I end this. And yeah, Kat, I'll give you a shout. We'll set up part 3 and heal up my friend and have a speedy recovery.
Thanks.
Yes, let's go. I love it. All right. See you guys. See you, bro.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.